You've got a guy who's brand new to the room and the team and might play that week. How do you go about simplifying what he's got to know to be able to get on the field? Where do you start?
Really just in a role where, the other guys can talk to him, whether it be the safeties or corners, communicating things to him, and just understanding the menu of what he has to do personnel-wise when we match that up. But just getting extra time with him, trying to get him in there to understand the verbiage is the biggest thing, and the language, and then allowing him to play fast. So keeping his menu limited, and then allowing him to cut it loose and see what he brings to the table. So the more we integrate him into the defense, the more he'll start to show up.
We're going to talk to him after this, but I want to ask you about that guy back there, Trey. I'm curious, what's it been like watching him come along and really develop in your guys' defense?
Well, I'm a little biased towards Trey because that's my fellow Las Vegas native, you know what I mean? But I think he's a great athlete. I think he made it a mission to come out here early and to prepare for a moment like this, and he hasn't shied away from it at all. Being, just turning 18 years old and going out there and playing the snaps that he has, it's showing that the work he's put in the offseason, on top of getting used to college life and being a young adult. So I think he comes to work every day, and the results are going to continue to show up for him as we go down the stretch. But he's no longer a rook at this. No, he's a 4-game veteran. So I'm excited to see what he continues to build on. And it's good for a young cat to go out there and see some adversity a little bit too, to build on and just be able to respond to, and he's been able to do that.
We talked to Aiden a little bit about Houston's quarterback and his dual threat ability. How do you, as a secondary, have to also keep that in your mind that he might take off?
Yeah, well, we need to make him one-dimensional. So hopefully that we can play some tight coverage and allow the games to go ahead and eat and let the D-line go up there and hopefully contain them and do their job that way. So. Dual threats are always tough to defend, but we also need to play tight coverage, make sure we plaster and scramble drills, and then be able to just get them on the ground and make them put together drives.
Just curious, how much time have you guys been able to spend rewatching the film from Oregon, and specifically that first quarter where the defense and the secondary, and I feel like the whole unit found a lot of success? How much have you guys had a chance to go over that with the team and emphasize that what they did during those portions is what to do to be able to have success?
Yeah, I think that's just integrating that into every week. Every week that we've gone, we've put the previous opponent, some of those plays that we have, we could have played better on. We've integrated those into the practices, so that way we continue to see how we're going to get attacked. But showing those guys that we kept up with that team in the first quarter, and those are things that we are able to do if we do our job the right way. Now it's just being able to sustain even in a short week throughout the practice, right? From period 1 to period 18 is being able to stay locked in, stay communicative, be able to strain with our energy, play teams, and then be able to lock back in with defense. So just integrating the previous opponent into every week, just understanding that it's going to continue to show up. A lot of offenses are similar, especially the opponents that we've played. So just going out there and being able to handle those plays and just know that they're coming.
You guys have matched 12P with nickel a lot this year. How have you guys felt like you guys have, kind of taken on bigger bodies around the line of scrimmage, for those defensive backs?
I think we've been able to hold up for the most part, and then just also teaching those nickels, how to be involved in that type of game. But usually, a lot of those 12 personnel pictures are 11 personnel formation, so it helps give us aid in the pass game, but then also still being able to keep everything condensed in the run game. So it's helped us, and then just depending on what the offense's emphasis is, then we'll match personnel that way. So every plan is different each week depending on who we see.
Anything else? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach, ever since we've met you, you've just been a super positive, upbeat guy, bunch of energy. How does that personality serve you at a time when a team's going through a rough stretch?
Man, that's when it's needed the most. That's what I think leadership is all about. Through the good, through the bad, things of that nature. Just showing the kids where it's, how to gravitate around the certain standards and things like that. Not coming off of, kind of like what we do, not turning into different people, and just doing our job, and that's what we constantly preach in our room. Steadily trying to reduce the game to technique and effort, man, and just playing lights out. Any chance we get, any opportunity we get, on any given day to play football, man, it's you know, it's a dream come true for us.
Is there anything you do with the players to make sure you can keep their spirits up? Is there anything that you do in specific or the coaching staff does in specific?
Oh yeah, man. Like our room specifically, you know, I like to just, you know, tell them or allow them to just be themselves, you know, just being mindful and just having like somewhat common sense of like human nature. You know, not beating them up too much, not beating myself up too much, you know, not bringing my frustrations on to them or them bringing their frustrations on to me and stuff like that. More so just being like something what a big brother or uncle or a great dad would be to their kids, you know what I mean? Just sitting down, having some open-ended conversations and things of that nature, and them feeling comfortable being able to tell me kind of, you know, how they feel and how they perceive things and stuff of that nature. So just having that type of relationship with the kids and in the building, you know, to where other kids may want to reach out to you and talk to you every now and then and stuff like that. But just like you said, just keeping them upbeat and staying positive and looking at some of the smaller details that we are doing good. You take Pass Pro for you know, an example. We are awesome in pass pro. I don't think people focus on it enough, but Hank is awesome in pass pro. Even the other backs, you know, I think we've yet to give up a sack in the room and things of that nature and stuff like that. So just finding other details so they can feel good about it and then showing it to them on film. You know, taking the meeting room to the practice field, taking the practice field to Saturday and stuff like that, and then just showing them how, hey, it's coming together and things like that. So.
Houston's run defense is looking like one of the better run defenses in the country. What do you have to do on Friday night to be successful against that group?
I mean, it's what we do, you know, every week. You know, we talk about what it takes at the start of the week. First of all, we got to have incredible ball security to give ourselves a chance. You know, that's one thing that we live on. You know, we're going to have some intense ball security. And then next, I think we just have to just be enamored with our game plan of going forward and how we want to attack this bunch and stuff like that. Being physical in the run game, I think we need to get creative in the run game and stuff like that. And, you know, just having the ability to make people miss in space, structuring this thing, formatting it to where we know we want to see defenders and how they line up and stuff like that. And then just being enamored with the game plan, like I just mentioned. So just knowing the entry point, the levels, the angles that we want to hit them with, and just playing fast and playing with speed and good contact balance, and you know, just doing what we're supposed to do.
A month into the year, and the rushing attack just really hasn't been a factor for you guys thus far. You've worked at a lot of different levels and roles on offense. I'm curious, how would you kind of diagnose what the problems have been, and how are you guys looking to correct them?
I mean, just staying together, you know, and just being on the same page, and you know, going back and self-scouting ourselves as a staff and as a team and stuff like that, and showing the guys that we do have the ability to do some things, and just some corrective, you know, whether it be, you know, from our standpoint or, you know, me and Coach Cal, we try to spend a lot of time together to get it corrected and stuff. And if you look back, like last week, you know, we had some explosives, you know, and we felt real good about it. So just, you know, just going back to the drawing board and just spending some time with each other. When I say that, I'm mentioning me and Coach Cav and even Coach Hick, and just trying to get the targets, the hand placement, hat placement, and all that stuff corrected. And with the backs, just making sure that they know entry point, tempos of the runs and stuff like that.
You said during fall camp that you were really looking for, you know, a Robin to Hank's Batman. I'm curious, how have you kind of felt how like Cornell and Sala have really come along?
Yeah, Sala showed a little something last week. I don't know if, you know, it was looked at that intense or whatever, but Sala was, you know, he was having a good go about before he stubbed his toe. But anyhow, I thought he was finna get ready to do that. Later in some of the games that we played, we've been able to give Cornell a few reps, and I think right now Cornell is probably averaging about 7 to 8 yards a carry. So that's nice to see as well, you know. So I think I have to get him involved more. Even Marquise, we've yet to see him up until this point, but he's been playing a lot of special teams and things of that nature. And I think it's time to kind of do this thing more so as a committee. You know what I mean? And just ways to keep Hank fresh and get those guys like engaged into what we do.
Last question, guys. You said getting the run game going, getting more creative, and you mentioned kind of going by committee. Is that kind of what you're looking for to kind of jumpstart the run game here through the kind of these first 4 weeks?
Yeah. Because I mean, they all bring something specific to the table, and just when we talk about creativity as well, we talk about like things of like relative spacing in the run game, like not bringing ourselves into the scheme and stuff like that. Just from a technical standpoint, when we go back to, the way that we teach that room and things of that nature. And then when you talk about creativity in the run game, we're talking about like running the space. You either a daylight runner or you're a color runner. You know what I mean? So if you can create relative spacing within the run game, and then you can get creative with it, you can utilize your speed, you can utilize contact balance, vision, all those good things that just come along with being a running back.
Thank you, Coach.
First college football started at 17 years old. What did that kind of mean to you?
It was great, honestly. I came here early, of course. I wasn't necessarily thinking I was going to have this opportunity, but, things happen. You know how college football is. Everything just happens real fast. So, honestly, just a blessing to be able to go out there and start a game at 17 because not a lot of people can say that. And I was just put in a position, and I used it to the best of my opportunity.
What was it like for you in that moment, just against a quality opponent like that and, surrounding atmosphere of Autzen and to have that experience?
Yeah, honestly, I heard a lot going into the game, and I was really just blessed to be able to have that opportunity so early in my college career. Obviously, going out there as a freshman in a big game like that, like I said, not a lot of people really get that opportunity. So really just taking that with a grain of salt because the closest I ever been to that environment was either here or Texas Tech. And it's really, I try not to let the atmosphere really affect me. I really just try to hone in on a game and just focus in and really try my best. And yeah, just really making the best opportunity.
Through your first month as a starter at this level, what's the biggest thing you've learned?
Great one. Honestly, the biggest thing I've learned is really just to go out there and play. Like when you're thinking too much, my coach Chance always says when I'm thinking, I'm stinking. So when I go out there and I'm thinking too much or I'm letting the outside kind of affect me, that's when I start to see my personal performance decline. So really just going out there and just playing football. I've been playing football all my life. So really when I just go out there and just play, let it loose, that's when I see my what's the word? Kind of sparks and flashes. So yeah.
How do you kind of tune out the noise, considering, an 0-4 start to the season, right? The struggles, every week, we're hearing about it. What do you do to kind of make sure you keep yourself in the right mindset when you're getting prepared for another week?
It definitely starts in the room with the rest of the DBs. Coach Chance and Coach Coop are constantly honest about really just focusing and straining in on what's happening in front of us, not what's going on around us. So I'm always constantly trying to think of that, like it really doesn't matter how many fans are in the stands, who's there. It's really just what's happening in front of me, and am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing?
Opposing passing attacks have come after you a couple times and have gotten stuff away, but every time I've watched you, you've always been right back out there on the next rep or, gotten after it. What's that kind of mentality like? How do you have to be able to turn the page so quickly?
Yeah, like I said, first off, it's really just tuning out the noise. And I'm always going to be myself. I'm always going to be my own biggest critic. So at the end of the day, I know if I go out there and let up a play for whatever reason, nobody can tell me something I don't already know or I haven't already started thinking about that last play, for example. And then obviously Coach Chance and Coach Coop have helped me with that. As I've been here, really just that next play mentality and not letting a bad play cloud my mind about like I said, what's going on in front of me. So it's really just a mindset thing that Coach Chance and Coach Coop have really passed on to me, and I've just been, using to the best of my ability.
How do you feel like you've grown over, again, the beginning part of the season? How do you feel like you're maybe more prepared now heading into this Friday night meeting with Houston, to where you feel like you and maybe the rest of the defense can find some success against them?
Yeah, it's really just all preparation for us. It starts in the room, of course, and then even outside of the room, outside of practice, when I'm not here, it's really just, am I watching film? Am I studying my notes from meetings? It's really all in the preparation. And ever since week 1, Coach Chance and Coach Coop have been burning into my head, like, prepare. You can never be too prepared for anything. So it really just, for me personally, and then obviously the rest of the room and the team and the defense, it's really just preparation. Are we preparing enough? Are we watching film outside of here? Are we studying outside of here, that kind of thing? And I just, even my parents are constantly on me about just, am I doing what I need to be doing? So, for example, if I'm leaving here, am I going straight home and getting on the game, or am I taking some extra time to watch film? So it's really just putting in those extra hours.
What's your game of choice, though? What's your game of choice, though?
Good question. I'd say probably 2K right now.
Okay.
I've been on 2K. But, yeah.
We saw you get popped pretty good. You got the wrap on it.
Yeah.
What happened? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it was just I got caught in a bad position. I went to break up a pass, and my arm got trapped under him, and I kind of flipped over him. But I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, of course. And I don't think this should hinder me from Friday.
For sure. We see you. You always got writing on the eye black. I
Yeah.
can't ever read it in photos.
Yeah, my
What do you-
handwriting's not great.
It's all good. Neither's my camera. What do you put across it?
Yeah, it's usually either thank you God or thank you Jesus, and obviously I'm a man of faith, and I try to stay rooted in that, because I know regardless of what happens on the field, in my life, whatever, I always have Jesus to look back and hang on to. So really, just to obviously thank you, Jesus, for this moment, this opportunity, because not a lot of people get this. Even just playing college football, being able to be here, even starting, that's even greater of an opportunity. And at the end of the day, all I can say is just thank you, Jesus, for this opportunity.
Coach Coop said he's biased towards you because you're a fellow Vegas guy. Was that relationship part of what brought you here to Corvallis?
Yeah, definitely. Coach Coop and Coach Chance were a big part of my recruiting. Obviously, and just being from Vegas, Coach Coop, me and him kind of have a special little bond. But yeah, they definitely, ever since the start of I was getting recruited, they were there. They trying to get me here on visits and stuff like that. And yeah, they were just great. Obviously, them, Coach Bray, all the coaches, and then the players as well. It just felt like I should be here. And I also felt the want from the program as well, so definitely.
There's a ton of you Nevada guys on the defense. You guys like the Core Vegas nickname then?
Oh, yeah, definitely. My guys from Liberty, Jeremiah, Sean, and Skylar, they're all freshmen as well. They came up here in the summer, or Jeremiah came in the winter. But, yeah, those are my guys, and then Kels as well. It's great to see him back out there at practice, and it's great having people from where I'm from, and it's just a blessing, honestly.
For sure.
Sweet. All right, thanks everyone.
Does it feel to get back out there?
It's nice. Played the first game, messed up my foot a little bit towards the third quarter, I think, and then I was out for a couple games. But yeah, no, it felt good running around, just being able to do what I can do.
When you're working through an injury like that holds you out of 2 games, and the struggles that have occurred on the front have happened, how does it feel as a guy who was a starter and just kind of having to sit back and watch?
I mean, it's always frustrating, like knowing that you could have been out there potentially doing something differently. But I'm always there for my teammates, just cheering them on, helping the younger guys like figure out what to do when they're like freaking out a little bit,
When you were available, Dylan wasn't, and then Dylan comes back and he's available and you're not.
Yeah.
So on that left side, are you feeling like now you finally got an opportunity to start to build some continuity on that left side that you just simply haven't had an opportunity to do?
Yeah, I feel like me and Dylan meshed really well together. Me and all the guards, really. I feel like our minds kind of think as one. We can see everything together. We communicate really well. Pass off like all the blocks, all the pass stuff. Just really well together, working well together.
So do you feel like that if you can stay healthy at the same time, that there's the potential for some better production in the run game once you have all these pieces?
Absolutely. It's all about reps. Just working together, getting the little things down, like finishing the blocks together. I think the more that we do that, the better that it'll get in the future.
How difficult is that to do, though, when you're 4 games now heading into Game 5 of the season, and the quality of opponents you guys have been facing, especially in these early go-arounds, have been, tough? How do you kind of quickly figure things out when you've got, a Friday game and not a lot of time to prepare for Houston?
We still get the same amount of reps during practice. We get the same amount of plays that we watch during film. We'll go meet early as the O-line, specifically. We'll do watch other games. We'll watch other teams play the same scheme as us against this team. A Friday game, I feel like doesn't really affect us that much. I feel like that it just pushes the days a little bit sooner.
You guys have been really sharp in pass pro for the year, been able to keep Malik upright, but the run game has been what it's been. How would you kind of diagnose what your guys' issues have been?
I feel like pass game, we're good. Run game, we just got to finish our blocks a little bit longer. We've been working on it during practice, just playing through and after the whistle. I feel like during the game, we'll get shed a little bit too early, and Coach Cav always talks about get your guy past the ball, or get your ball past the guy. So that's our mindset, that's our goal every single rep.
You said you guys watch a lot of game tape together as a group. You got a favorite tackle to watch, maybe in the NFL, college ranks, past?
Ooh, I like Lane Johnson. He's just a beast.
Easy pick.
Got hurt, but he's pretty good.
For sure.
Anything else? Thanks, Jacob.
Thanks. Ready whenever you guys are.
Get to make your first career start down there in Eugene. What were the emotions like, and how did you kind of assess your play?
I was really excited. My first start. I've been here for about almost 2 years, so it was good to finally get to be able to go out there and play the game I love. A lot of hard work over the last 2 years, so I'm very grateful for that. So,
What were some of the lessons that you feel like you were learning in the game? Just that first real world experience. How did it kind of feel? How do you feel like you adjusted in the moment as the game was progressing?
I feel like I did good. I feel like personally I started a little bit slow. Second half, I feel like I came out there and figured some things out. Played a little bit faster. But to start, it's just a opportunity I've been waiting for. So I feel like I did a good job capitalizing on that, and I think I could build off of that as well going forward.
What's kind of been your biggest goal of the year?
My biggest goal of the year, I would say really just getting on the field and just being able to showcase the talent and, the hard work that I have put in. That would probably be my biggest goal of the year. So.
Houston's quarterback obviously can throw the ball and run the ball both. What are they telling you about him, and what do you got to do to keep him from getting out of the pocket?
We made a few adjustments, so some of our coverages, I don't want to tell you too much, but, we might have a guy for him so he don't get out the pocket and do too many more things, but, just things like that.
As a person that's trying to tackle a dual threat quarterback when they're on the run, how do you kind of deal with something like that in the moment, knowing that this day and age there's so many protections for the quarterback? How do you kind of do your best to gauge and read what they're doing on the field?
I'll just say make a full-speed decision, go out there with some confidence, and just the confidence that he plays fast, but, I play fast too, so I think that I can have the confidence to just make those plays, and I think that goes a long way itself.
It takes a certain level of mentality for someone to really rise through the JUCO ranks and go FBS. I'm curious, what's your experience been like in kind of your college football journey to where you're at now?
I just got to thank God, man. I come from a small town where not many kids get the opportunity to make it this far. So, I just take that with a chip on my shoulder every day, and then I show up, I put the work in. I kind of just want to let those guys know that it's possible. So I carry that weight on my shoulders.
For you guys, obviously, last games, quarters 2 through 4, obviously, we're not what the defense wanted to see or the team wanted to see. But in that first quarter where you guys did find success, how much were you guys watching that in the film room? How much was Coach Trey really emphasizing what you guys did in that first quarter and trying to set for that standard heading into this week and, of course, heading into the rest of the season?
I think he touched on it a little bit in the meetings, but we do have a short week this week, having Houston on Friday. So we kind of just dove right into, we normally do like a overview of how the game went on Sunday, but this week we just dove straight into Houston on Sunday just because we have one less day. So that's what we did.
How would you kind of describe your own play style?
I would say physical, aggressive, fast, just all those things. Confident. I love the game. So, yes, sir.
You guys are a featured ESPN Friday night game this week.
Yes, sir.
When you know that, like, this is the game that's on all over the country, does that make any difference to you? Do you think about that?
Sometimes, the pressure or like just the fact that it's going to be on TV, you could think about that a little bit, but you just have to realize it's the same game you played since, it's the same game I played since I was 7 years old. So at the end of the day, you just got to go out there and do what you love.
Is it a positive opportunity though for everybody's watching? This is a chance to show what we can do.
Absolutely. I think that's probably one of the best parts about playing at this level is just being able to go out there and then, have everybody seeing, being able to showcase your ability and the hard work that you have put in on and off the field, and able to get here to go out there and show them that. So,
Playing since you were 7, when did you kind of settle into, being a linebacker?
In high school, I want to say I broke my leg in high school my sophomore year. And then after that, I didn't really do too much running back. I kind of just made the switch to defense. I mean, I still play running back my senior year, but I always kind of like to just hit people. So that's why I play defense. Yeah.
Broke your leg. I'm sure that was a big one to overcome as a sophomore. What was the journey like working through that all those years ago?
It was hard, man. I had to miss a whole season. It happened second game of the season. So just being able, sitting out and then not being able to play, I had some real hard emotions. I had to, I would say maybe more hungry to go out there and play the game. So.
And how's that kind of, applied to your game now and just kind of the way you approach it?
I would say make the most out of my opportunities. You never know when something like that's going to happen. So, just come out here every day and then do what you do, play the game you love. So, like it's your last day.
Defense has been a bit of a struggle at points, giving up some points. You guys have, and what do you guys kind of feel like you need to do to get things back on track, especially in the short week?
Just know that we're here for each other, and then I can count on the guy next to me as I expect him. He should be able to count on me too. We just need to do our job, and if we all do our job, then we'll be fine. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. Appreciate it.